Plus, the remarkable story of how a woman was reunited with her father after 30 years, thanks to this programme.
Next, to the remarkable story of how a woman came to be reunited with her father after 30 years following a chance viewing of BBC London. Mika had been told her dad slept rough in Tottenham. She was watching the story of a Good Samaritan who helps homeless people in the area on our programme and decided to contact him to see if he'd ever come across her dad. Jessica Ure has the story.
This is the moment that a father and daughter were reunited after 30 years.
I knelt down, I gave him the biggest cuddle, and I just sat with him. It felt very surreal, it was very emotional, but it felt very homely and warm all at the same time.
And this is the man that made it happen.
How's your journey been?
Yeah, it was good, thank you.
Mika had been wanting to find her father but had no way of locating him. All that she knew is that he had been sleeping rough in Tottenham. And then she saw this.
Tonight, check this out. A 34-year-old from Tottenham helping the homeless across the capital with a little help from a cycling group he started.
My name's Paul Walcott. I'm from Tottenham and I started the Homeless Network.
And on the TV they were showing all the stuff he does to the homeless out with the bikes and stuff, and I thought, well, it's got to be worth a try. He might ignore me, but I'll give it a go. So I messaged him, and then 20 minutes later he replied back saying, yeah, I've located your dad.
So when Mika had contacted me, I was so taken back by the news that she'd basically found her father through connecting with me, that I actually went down and visited him. I had a discussion with him and I said, I've got something I want to say to you and I'm not sure how you're going to take it. And he's like, okay. I said, well, there's someone called Mika that would like to see you. And he looked up at me from looking at the ground. He looked up at me and his eyes filled up and he goes, how do you know my daughter? Yeah, I want to see her. Tell her I want to see her. And he gave me a little voice message to play back to send back into to his daughter in Wiltshire so she could hear her dad's voice for the first time after 30 years.
Veril kept in touch with Mika and Omar until she was ready to come to London to meet them.
Went over and hugged him, and yeah, it was a really surreal moment, but it didn't feel like a stranger, if you know what I mean. It did feel like home in a very weird way.
Mika now comes to London often to visit her father. He doesn't have a phone, but he's never missing for long because Veril keeps in touch.
The underlying problem sometimes where people do become homeless or become on the street is because they just don't have that family support anymore, and giving them a household is neither here or there if they're still missing someone, because it's a mental problem, it's a mental block, it's a mental hurdle from previous mistakes they've made where they feel like they've let down their family.
For me, it definitely feels like a miracle. If you ask Veril, he'll say, no, I could do this can happen all the time. And I think that's kind of the mentality we've got to have, is actually it doesn't have to be a miracle or one-off thing. We can reunite people.
And after filming, and just by chance, we run into a familiar face. Jessica Ure, BBC London.